Hello.
Now. Oh,
It's Saturday morning. You know what that means. The Comics Pals are live and in living color, if you can believe that.
great
Great
show.
show.
Oh, Jinx.
Yep, you're
wait,
absolutely
wait.
right.
Are all
Tyler's
three
and
of
Jinx.
us?
Tyler's and Jinx. Nope. Tyler's and Jinx.
So what happens?
Someone has to say his name. Tyler. You're good.
Okay.
Oh.
I never knew those rules.
I don't think I knew those either. I just
It
knew
was
like,
usually
oh, you owe me a
Jinx, and you kick
soda.
him in the balls.
Whoa, what school did you go to?
Hard Knocks, baby.
All right. Oh my goodness.
Well done.
Say hello as you join us in the Twitch chat today. We still don't have our grumpy grandpa. He's wandering the streets.
Wandering the streets.
he's
We're
on
waiting
walkabout.
to.
He's on walkabout. But we do have Mark with an O,
Oh,
and we've got Tyler
With an O, kind of.
with an O. Tyler O.
Tyler O.
Yeah.
Tyler O. And
There-
I'm Sean. There are no O's in my name.
Growing up, there was another Tyler that I was friends with. So she got the, even though like mine, it's more of a mask name, but she was just Tyler, and I was always Tyler O. So it kind of annoys the shit out of
It
me.
wasn't like Taylor.
No, two Tylers. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
A tale of two Tylers.
Nice.
Yep.
Damn, and you got the O. That feels bad when you're the other.
But like that tracks.
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, like that's just tracks for my life, you know.
Oh shit.
Matt considered a frequent listener and friend of me. Matt Murphy considers me one of the unluckiest people he's ever met.
Wow.
So,
Do you feel that way about yourself? You feel you're
Oh.
unlucky? Well, I mean, listen, you know.
Every day's a
Yeah.
blessing, Tyler.
yeah.
Every day's a blessing.
Sure. Yep. Uh-huh.
Tyler, what are you drinking?
Life essence out of my chubby mug.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you could be drinking life essence out of a Comics Pals mug.
Ooh,
Oh,
well done.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't have the mug.
You
I don't
could-
have the mug. So
You don't have the mug? You got to get the mug, man. We
I
got
got
a
the pint
store.
glass. I bring out the pint glass for the Wednesday
That's-
show.
that's
the mug
true.
comes out on
Yeah.
Saturdays.
That's true. You know who needs a Comics Pals mug to put some anonymous alcohol in it? The people who were not nominated for Eisners this year. So I have talked about it before. I don't really love the Eisners. Like I'm not that into it. I'm not into award shows in general. It's just not really my thing. It's not specific to the Eisners. I just don't really care about them too much. I feel like it's a little vapid, but I understand that, you know, it feels good to be rewarded for your hard work, especially in an industry that's not rewarding most of the creators financially. You know, at least you get some kind of a recognition from your peers. So this year we do have the Eisner nominations. 32 categories in all, and I just wanted to go through a few of them. It's books that came out in the calendar year of 2021. So nothing that came out before and nothing that came out after. DC and Image actually got the most nominations. DC had the most, which is pretty remarkable. You would think it wouldn't come from the big two. You would think it'd be Image.
It's a good year.
Yeah,
think.
Nightwing doing really well. Wonder Woman, Historia, the Amazons specifically. So you know, good stuff to DC. I wanted to go over a few of the categories, and we'll just talk about like who we would vote for. So let's get through that really quick. So best single issue, Marvel Voices Identity #1. Mouse Guard, The Owl Wen Caregiver and Other Tales. That's from Boom. Nightwing 87. Wolf and Daughter. That's from Quindry Press. Never heard of them. Wonder Woman Historia, The Amazons. I would think that Wonder Woman would win. Based on the ones I've read. Yeah.
Personally,
Nightwing.
I would go with Nightwing. That's the continuous
Single.
shot
Ooh.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was well
just
done
kind
too.
of-
Oh, real good.
It really kind of worked with the medium in a way I haven't seen anyone do this year. Historia is a close one too, but I like how the two that are close to us are DC ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I've always wanted to get into Mouse Guard. I just haven't.
It's very
It's-
good.
it
I
seemed
think you
impenetrable
would
to me.
love it. You would love
Yeah.
it.
It's always on these nominations too, Mouse Guard. So
I this one I haven't picked up because it's usually like different books and everything. But the original series, excellent stuff, Tyler. That's
Yeah.
absolutely your bag.
Best continuing series, we have Bitter Root from Image, David F. Walker getting that nod. Department of Truth, Immortal Hulk, Nightwing, Something is Killing the Children. Immortal Hulk should win, but it won't because of Joe Bennett.
I was surprised he even got nominated.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that book up there. So it'll probably be
Department of Truth.
I would say Something is Killing the Children or Department of Truth. I think James Tinian's coming away with this.
I think it's Nightwing, guys. It's either Nightwing or Something is Killing the Children.
To be fair, I'm not reading Department of Truth, and Something is Killing the Children is excellent, but I feel like the buzz has been around Department of Truth a lot. As much as it has been for Nightwing, I think people are gonna lean on Department of Truth.
It's weird. I'm reading the Department of Truth, and it's like I'm like the only person I know who's reading it. I love it. I think it's fantastic, but I'm always like, "Yo, can you read this for me, please, guys? It's good."
Every year, Bitter Root is on this, so I just want to shout out David F. Walker again.
It's true.
I swear to you, every single year. I feel like for the past, I don't know, 4 Eisners, I want to say.
Best limited series, we got Beta Ray Bill, the Daniel
Done.
Warren
That's
Johnson
it.
mini.
That's
I
it.
know, right?
Don't read. You're done.
Good Asian, Hocus Pocus, Many Deaths of Lila Starr, Stray Dogs, and Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I think Beta Ray Bill. It's too good.
I think
But Many Deaths could also win.
I think it's Beta Ray, because that was stellar. Many Deaths, I think, would deserve it. Yo, Stray Dogs was excellent.
I read the first issue and I was like, "Yo, this is good." I meant to pick it up and trade, but
It's real good. You'll like
yeah,
it.
Best new series, Human Target, Nice House, Not All Robots, Radiant Black, and Ultra Mega. Human Target is a cut. I mean, Nice House is phenomenal. Human Target is better, I think. Not All Robots might win though.
I'm gonna give it to Not All Robots because of Mike Diodato. So happy he got an Eisner nod.
Yo.
He danced on his Twitter in a video.
That was good.
And it was like
Did
the
he
most
really?
wholesome shit ever. I was like, you know what? I give it to them. I've read all of these, and that's a stacked list, honestly.
It is.
It is cool seeing so many different. Actually, no, there's only really 3 different publishers on there. Just different imprints of the same publisher, but putting an AWA book on there is great. I mean, it's Mark Russell though. He's like Eisner bait. You know what I mean? Like it's like when Wes Anderson comes out with a new movie. It's like, oh, Mark Russell came out with a new book. It's obviously going to get a nomination.
It's cool that AWA is up here because I think that they feel like they've been hitting pretty much every single book that I've read of theirs.
It's good stuff. Yeah, they've done a great job. Best writer, Ed Brubaker.
For Pulp, probably.
For Destroy All Monsters and Friend of the Devil. Kelly Sue DeConnick, specifically for Wonder Woman Historia. Philippe Melo from Top Shelf for Ballad for Sophie, rather. Ram V for everything. James Tinian for literally
Everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that for like the sheer amount of things that James is up for and all of them being so good, I think it's hard for him not to win. He should win. Ram is a close second though.
Tinian's on a lot of books that have long titles, so that could just be tricking you there.
Well, House of Slaughter, Something's Killing the Children, Win, Nice House, Joker, Batman, DC Pride, Department of Truth, Blue Book, Razor Blades. That's 10 books.
Damn.
That's true. I personally want Ram-B. Like it's near and dear to me. So.
Yeah, for sure. But that man is stacked. Tinian is stacked.
Yeah. Best writer artist, Alison Bechdel, Juni Ito, Daniel Warren Johnson, Will McPhail, and Barry Windsor Smith. I'm biased because I've only engaged with one of these creators, but Daniel Warren Johnson.
No, Junji Ito. We read Uzumaki.
Yeah, but I guess I meant like this
Oh.
this this year.
I think you think they get the posthumous Bear Windsor Smith Eisner.
I could see that too.
I think so. For Monster? Yeah, I think
Monsters
so. That's
was
where I
pretty
was
big.
leaning.
It was pretty big.
It was nice.
It was gorgeous too.
That's it for me.
Let's get through one or two more. Best penciler, inker, or penciler, inker team. Felipe Andrade for Many Deaths of Lila Star. Phil Jimenez again. Bruno Redondo, Asad Rabik, and P. Craig Russell. Woo. I think I could see Bruno winning, but I would say Phil Jimenez.
Dude, that book was insane.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Did we talk about Historia on the show?
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Okay.
I highly recommend anyone go read that.
I would have said Felipe Andrade. I think that book was gorgeous.
Okay.
Asad Rabik getting the nod there too is great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm very surprised. But
Because that Captain Marvel panel, you thought that was a no-go?
that was a part of it. That's a part of it. And then let's do best coloring. Felipe Andrade, Terry Dodson, Kay O'Neill, Jacob Phillips. Wow. And Matt Wilson. Jacob Phillips, that's pretty cool. That's Sean Phillips' son. So imagine that,
Yeah.
Like
blood.
you are an Eisner Award, at least nominee, probably winner in your own right. And then your son is too. Can you imagine?
I gotta say, glaring omission of Mike Spicer.
Yes.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my God.
100%.
I think
There are a
Spicer
few-
has been revitalizing what coloring could be in the comics that he's on. Make some really crazy ass choices.
Where's-
kind of bummed on that.
Where's Clayton Cowles, man? Like, there's some talents that are not on here. It's really surprising.
Wait, he's lettering.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yes.
I was gonna
what
say
was I thinking?
Tamara Bombian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamara's been excellent.
It's the
And
first year Jordy Blair not on here.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Dirty, yeah. Yep.
I've never known Terry Dodson to be a colorist. I've always thought of him as like an inker. He does pencils.
Inventor Man, he's doing the
He's
whole
all
art.
of it. Okay.
So, I mean, great list of creators for sure overall. It's, it's cool. I'll be happy for those who win, and it's good to be nominated. Just the nomination is something. I don't know if it translates into like more work or more pay, but it's cool.
Can I shout out parentheses? It's a graphic memoir by Elodie Durand. I would really recommend it. Published by Top Shelf. It's about her and this brain disease that she has that ends up giving her gaps in her life and her memory, and she has to like work through piecing those things together. And so the parenthesis is like this symbol for the gaps in her life, because she has to fill in those things with things that she doesn't. She has to learn from other people. It's a really, really good book. It gets a bit graphic in terms of the descriptions of medical procedures, but I think if you're interested in memoirs and graphic memoirs, I think that's a really good book for you guys.
Also, it is cool to see that Best Digital Comic is a thing here, and It's Jeff by Kelly Thompson and Gurhiro got a nomination, which is the Marvel Unlimited Jeff the Landshark story.
Get out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
adorable.
That's good.
But it's cool to see that on there. Marvel Unlimited getting some love.
That is pretty cool. Let's say hello to some people in the chat. Hello, Catherine. What's up?
What's up?
Sil Stevenson, first time chatter. Thank you for joining. That's awesome. Maybe you'll be on the Eisner nominee list one day. Stevenson's got a Kickstarter that's about to launch. So
Be on the
go
lookout.
check them out on social. Definitely cool that you're here. Jacariah. Hello, Jacariah. Welcome. We've got a lot to talk about today that's not Eisner related, to be sure. DC announced that Batman's going to have a bad day.
Uh-oh.
Batman's going to have many bad days. So we'll be getting to that, those one shots a little later. She-Hulk trailer came out and lit the internet on fire. Apparently people like a really big, tall, green woman.
Mm-hmm.
count me among them. Um, in our main topic, a topic too big to just be a regular news item. Daredevil is coming back to Disney Plus with a new series, but what does that really mean? We're gonna find out. We're gonna discuss that a little later on.
Less Electra fucking is what we're talking about.
That I can promise you. They're not even gonna go so far as to give us the planking sex that we got from Eternals. Electra
That fad was over
to,
4 years ago. Like, come on, Disney.
Electra is gonna be very unsexy, because you can't have that on Disney Plus.
Can I ask a quick question? That's a bit of a side note. You guys ever part of the planking craze?
No,
I
you kidding
remember
me?
I remember
I'd do
my
it.
brother at Comic-Con one year. My brother's name is also Sean. He planked everywhere over Comic-Con, and I have a whole bunch of random pictures of it. Specifically back when Marvel actually had cool booths, and they had the giant Avengers helicarrier kind of themed booth. He went on stage and just planked in the middle of it. It was the stupidest shit ever, but
Unbelievable.
it was still more fun than Eternals.
Before we get into all that, I do want to let you guys know how you can support the show. Plenty of ways you can do that. Patreon.com/thecomicspals is the most direct way to do so. You can support at any tier you're comfortable with. For as little as $3, you can help us out. We've got some cool content up there. I just put out my newsletter. I was back up. And this month I couldn't really talk about anything else based on like where my mind was at. So I discussed the recent shooting that happened in Buffalo and sort of how it affected me, what it's like to be a Black person in America, and tied that into comics somehow. So if you are curious about that, you can head on over and read that. And lots of other cool stuff palling around our off-topic show where we kind of just talk about whatever we want. Most recent episode, we talked about video games and our love for them and, our history with them and our favorites. So again, patreon.com/thecomicspals. I want to shout out these fine folks who have chosen to join the Palsverse by subscribing at $10 or more. Thank you to Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, The Night Stalker, Harris Nijinsky, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Julissa the Jaguar, and Random Rocio, the Courageous Kunaladas, Kefis the Incorruptible, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Momentum, Mike Elliott, Starcrossed, Catherine Stars, Indestructible, Indy Aaron. Thank you all so much for your support. If you want to get your name shouted out here and a superhero or supervillain identity, head on over and hit that $10 tier. Twitch.tv/thecomicspals to watch us live every single Saturday at 10:15 Eastern for this very show, 6 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday for Pals Polls. YouTube.com/thecomicspals. Subscribe for free, like the video, share it with your friends. Discord. Hang out with us on Discord. We're always having a great time. Every single person that I can see on Twitch right now who's watching us is also on our Discord server. Great group of people. Don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Come hang out. It's a good time. We've got a bunch of listener comments. This week we got a lot. So many I couldn't include them all. The topic of are Marvel and DC comics boring really brought it out of you guys. So thank you for the engagement. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, so on that episode, we had a perpetual YouTube commenter, Dan Trudeau, good guy, commented, the line between ongoing and limited series has been blurred, with the exception of books like Batman and Action Comics. For example, Zdarsky's Daredevil is an ongoing in theory, but it's telling a specific storyline and the book wraps up once it's done. That's not an ongoing in the classic sense of the term. A true ongoing would keep going with the numbering, giving you a fill-in book or two before the new creative team takes over. I think the trade market has forever tipped the industry away from done-in-one stories that were built for newsstand readers. Multi-issue story arcs, even with ongoing books, seem to be the way to go.
Yeah. The first thing I always think about is Claremont's X-Men. That, for me, is the essence, the epitome of what an ongoing series or comic would be. I think I think the fact that they're writing for the trades, and I know I wasn't on the last issue. I'm sorry, that last episode, but I agreed very much that I think because it's being written for the trade market, that's sort of where you're sort of banking against as a creator and as a publisher too, right? Because you want somebody to create something so that at the end of the day you have more product, you have more to offer, even if it is a condensed story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that while Dan is definitely correct, um, ongoing doesn't quite mean what it used to mean. A lot of ongoings do feel more like limited series, but I think that in a lot of ways also comes down to sales. Books that were intended to be ongoings stop because of sales, and then books that are ongoings and are doing fine, they just want to get that number one bump. Is Daredevil an ongoing in the traditional sense? I would say yes. It lasted a very long time. It didn't, it wasn't like a 10 issue thing. It went for a while, and now it's coming back. And yes, it has a new number one, but it's the exact same creative team. So
They're not doing any legacy numbering on that one, right?
I mean,
think they are.
I think the legacy numbering is always there.
Okay.
But they just put that new number one for sales. It's a have your cake and eat it too type of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, next up.
All right, so we have Ricardo Rusui the God. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I think Marvel and DC. I tried. I think Marvel and DC should really make sure the writer has a plan for the ongoing, even if that plan involves one major arc or multiple arcs. I think they do.
They have to.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, you have to pitch something.
Guys, I really, really want to write Captain America. Okay, pitch us. I really want to write Captain America. He's my favorite. You gotta have something.
To be fair, that sounds like Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America. I loved it, but it seemed a little directionless, towards the end there. But
all right, that's fair. I guess, like, to me, what constitutes a worthwhile multi-arc run, like the bar is a little higher, I think. And a lot of times these books will lose steam after their first arc. Sometimes even within the first arc.
And I imagine it's also hard because you have to sort of plot in outs because in the event of sales, right, you have to be able to pivot your way out into, okay, well, now I have to end this story. I maybe had XYZ planned, but because I'm getting, maybe it didn't sell as much, I'm getting the axe from, Marvel execs. Now this plan that I had won't come to fruition, and I have to, find a way to get myself out of here and reset back to neutral.
Sure. On to the next one.
All right, Marley said, "Hey guys, been a minute. Just a side tangent, but I figured I'd mention it since when does the Hulk movie ever come up? It's amusing that this is the one Stan Lee cameo that is crucial to the plot line. There are reports the sodas are contaminated with the blood, and you see Stan open a fridge and crack open a cold one. Would have been fun to see a hulked out Stan Lee."
Well, now you can.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I love how that ties into two different news stories.
Yeah.
She-Hulk and, the Stan Lee purchase that Marvel made. That's a doozy. Thank you for writing in.
Matt on Discord, been thinking about this since yesterday's Pals Polls. You guys regularly cover the X-Books, events, and Spawn, but when it comes to picking up new comics for yourself, what do you look for? Look for me sneezing, apparently. What do you look for? Concept, creative team, IP? After watching any of these adaptations, how often do you seek out the comics the characters are based on?
So Matt giving us a twofer right there. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, so I mean, when I buy comics for myself, it's all of the above. I think the more you read comics, the more that you kind of need to see certain things in order to buy a book. Like when I first started reading a comic, a cover could have been enough. Like just anything. Like, oh my God, Spider-Man's on the cover and Wolverine. Gotta buy it. Not Wolverine, because I never liked Wolverine. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was very anti-Wolverine. Pro Cyclops, man. Come on, what you know the deal.
We get it.
Yeah.
You know the fucking
Now,
vibes. I get it. Yeah.
yeah. Now it's it's probably creator first, then concept, then IP. Mostly because actually concept might be last. I'll buy anything by Rick Remender. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'll always buy a number one by Rick. I'll always buy a number one by Scott Snyder. I'll always buy a number one by Hickman. Like, there are just certain creators who I will show up for regardless. I will not necessarily buy Spider-Man just because it's Spider-Man. In fact, I definitely won't. Not anymore. When I was a kid, sure.
I'm kind of the same way. I think for me, it's like creator first, creator artists, whoever the team is first. But if it's a cool enough character, like the Kang book that came out, I wasn't too familiar with the team, but it's like, oh, they're doing a Kang book. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. And guess what? Now I have a creative team I can follow elsewhere because I liked it so much. So I think an IP could definitely sway me in certain situations.
Yeah.
I think because on Comixology you have the option to like consistently pull it. So once I get through all of the creators that I know, you can subscribe to series, and so I usually just don't have to worry about the series or creators that I already like, because more than likely I've already subscribed to a series for them, and I don't have to worry about it from week to week. It ends up freeing me to just kind of scroll through the store, and I typically pull from covers. Like if a cover catches my eye, and usually it's like the small thumbnail, but if it catches me through that, I'll click through. I'll usually try out number ones, and I try to make an effort to not or to click on smaller publishers like an AWA, like a Vault, like and anything else within that realm of indie and out there space, just because I already know which books I'm getting for sure. But these are the ones that I like to explore.
And please share with us your answer to this question, listeners, because people come to the comic shop or the digital space for all kinds of reasons. And I want to know where your loose dollar goes. Like, your purchases for the week are generally already set. Like, what happens when you have a little bit of extra money and you're like, I want to buy something different? What do you tend to gravitate toward? What kind of things speak to you?
One thing we didn't mention on this is, do we seek out any comics that are based on adaptations?
No.
Really? Okay.
Yes, specifically Alien and Predator. If that's what you meant.
Well, I think the context of the question is like, after you see something IP based, then how do you proceed? Yeah.
That? Okay.
I mean, I guess Eternals for me kind of works in that vein. But they had already been putting that out since before the movie. That was more of a planning effort on their end. It's rare that, like, I didn't go see Venom and be like, oh, I need a Venom book. I need to read a Venom book. They already hooked me on a Venom book before the movie. So it's almost like the inverse is happening. It's like, oh, I'm reading a comic that they've smartly prepped for. I think Marvel's good at this. They will put out, they'll seed those books. Like, we're getting a lot of Blade stuff in the past couple of years. I wonder why they're putting that into our brain.
Blade's daughter.
Finally. But like, it's curious to see how they seed that well in advance. So I'm like, oh, I want to see the movie now because I like the character in the comics. So for me, it's the opposite.
Eternals ended up being that way for me. The movie was coming out. I'm like, oh, there's a new series. I'm gonna try it because I know the movie's coming out.
Yeah,
I'm jaded. I just cannot be hooked in that way by them. I used to, dude. I own the Spider-Man 3 novelization. Okay,
what?
That's how obsessed I used to be, and how easy of a target I was.
Can you read us the scene in it where he's dancing?
You know what,
Bust it out and find it, and we could do like a dramatic reading of it.
I would absolutely do that. I don't know where that shit is, but if I find it, I will do that. Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for that one. And we have one more from Harris.
Wait, sorry, before we jump, can I count anime and manga?
No, this is a comic book podcast. What the hell are you doing on here? God damn it,
Because that's happened to me where I finish a series and I'm like, well, hold on a second, I want more, but I know I'm not gonna get the anime for the next 3 years, so I'm gonna jump on the manga.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable.
I'm unaware of how that works. I don't know if the anime or the manga comes first sometimes, so I'm uninformed on this stuff. Yeah.
It's usually the manga.
So we also have a how do I pronounce this? Random question. Random question.
You run from your dom?
Why are you running? So this is from Harris. Was this on the Discord?
This was.
It was
Yeah,
some random
it
spot
was.
it came from, I guess. What plot twist in comics is your favorite? Oof. That's
If it counts. Elektra being a Skrull. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. When I'm old and I have like Alzheimer's, I'm gonna be like, Elektra was a Skrull.
oh, they're gonna put me in the loony bin for
On
that
your
one.
deathbed,
Yup.
you're gonna reach up to somebody like just like, it was Electra.
Yup. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust me. When I die, I might turn green.
For me, like one of the twists that like is even crazier in my mind wasn't that Elektra was a Skrull. It was Hank Pym was a Skrull.
That was fucking crazy, dude. When I
Especially
saw
he was like head of the initiative, and I was like, "Yo,
so
what?"
crazy.
That was the bigger twist for me, honestly. That
Elektra
whole
set it
series
off.
is so good with twists.
Dude, because the thing with Elektra was like, we didn't even know to think about that. That wasn't
Yeah.
even on the radar. And that was before solicits used to screw, like, solicits were a thing, but they weren't as far in advance or whatever. So we didn't know anything about it. And then it's just like, okay, what the fuck? But Hank Pym was bad because it's like, oh, all right, so who's next? The president?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was
And then
good.
like even when like Norman does the killing blow and like you see that, I was like, "Yo, what?" Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Can we get
Good time to be a
like
fan.
like the bullpen back so they can plan shit out further in advance?
I know, dude. It's so sad. Comics aren't the same. I feel like
trying
I'm
to think
90
of
years old.
other twists though. Shit, man. I would look at my bookshelf.
I did it. I
It's a
couldn't
little,
find it.
little backed up right now. Shit. I need visual aids, guys. Is there? Yeah, I don't know. I think.
Okay.
Is it
I'm
Swamp
remembering
Thing?
now. It's spoilery, but for Wicked and Divine, there's this pivotal moment at some point in the Imperial phase with Woden, Woden, and then with the Valkyries, that just like it. The way that it plays ends up affecting how you process the beginning of the series, and makes you rethink through like who's on the quote unquote right side and the wrong side, and how certain characters were potentially manipulated, and it just has these rippling effects. Very, very, I think, very well done on Gillen's end.
One that's jumping out to me now is the Caged Angels arc of Thunderbolts, Ellis's Thunderbolts, where they're like capturing a whole bunch of these like metahumans, and like they captured a whole bunch of telepaths at one point. And the telepaths are like, "Oh yeah, we meant to get captured. We're making you guys all go crazy." And then like it turns Norman back into the Green Goblin, and then the whole place just goes to shit. Venom goes insane. Oh, that Ellis's Thunderbolts is one of my favorite books of all time.
We need that book club.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
We
so
gotta
good,
do
man.
that one for sure. That's a great run. Thank you guys for all the questions and comments. Really appreciate it.
Oh, whoops! Forgot to put that on the screen. I didn't add anything new to the question this week. So,
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, if you guys want to send in questions or comments, feel free. We really, really love getting to them. We try to get to every single one we can. If you want to write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com, you can do that. You can leave a comment on YouTube like most people do, but even Discord. Discord's a great place, or just in our Twitch chat, which is amazing.
Everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah, I did want to reference a couple of comments. Hyper Viper, hello, welcome, said, I have to admit, Doctor Strange got me to pick up some digital trades.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jacariah said, how is the experience on Comixology? Has there been any improvements lately? Marco?
I responded, not a lot, not great.
All right.
It's
They'll get to it. I mean, Bezos will get to it eventually once he can, you hear he only showers like once every 6 months or something like that. He admitted.
Excuse me?
Or, yeah, some weird shit. Rich white dudes are fucking weird, man. Like
this is why the Comixology reading experience is terrible.
My man is nasty. What the hell?
he's keeping it stanky.
How does his... Ooh, you know what? Never mind.
Nope. All right. I think I know where you're going with it. I'm glad he stopped himself.
Yeah. All right. So that would be one bad day for a woman.
Not really. He's I mean, with that money, I'd even I'd sacrifice my.
But imagine coming to him for sex on the last day before the shower,
that is
and he
one
rips
bad
them.
day.
He rips them underwear off, and that scent.
It probably looks like
you.
his head.
Ooh. That's at least one bad day.
Newborn baby goose.
Rough. So Tyler.
That was disgusting. That was one of the grossest visuals I've had in a while. Thanks, Marco. That's
Let's talk about Batman's bad day.
This is a bad day.
And Jeff Bezos is definitely a Batman villain, right? So
100%.
Right? Like he would absolutely be Batman's arch enemy.
And Musk is totally a Superman villain.
Yes, absolutely.
And there still stands for these people, and I'm like,
yeah. I feel like Elon Musk would be a part of Orcus for sure.
1 million bajillion %.
Yeah.
He would not fuck with mutants at all.
My dude's already on the asteroid, bro. He's trying to build a moon base.
Mother Mold is up there somewhere. Oh,
I mean Mother Musk is on the cover of Sports Illustrated this month. But.
Oh shit! All right, so the one bad day, initiative is going to be several 64-page one-shots that feature Batman tackling, one of his most popular enemies, and a big story featuring them told by some of the top creative teams in the industry. So we've got. We'll just run the list of each one shot. Cool. So we have The Riddler by Tom King and Mitch Gerads.
Great team.
Yeah.
I can see it.
The art that they've put out for this so far is really nice.
Oh, have they?
Mitch described this as being one of his dream projects, specifically The Riddler.
Yeah.
And even outside of Tom King being the writer, he's like, I've always wanted to do Riddler, which is weird. It's just a strange take, but I'm ready for it.
Loving this cover.
So the little teaser we got for this is Edward Nygma's meticulous rules and systems go out the window when he seemingly kills at random, but Batman isn't buying it. This tense intellectual thriller sees Batman unravel as he tries to decode the Riddler's motivation. All right. This next one got me for sure. Two-Face. Mariko Tamaki, Javier Fernandez, and Jordi Belair. That's a squad.
Yep.
That is a squad. So Two-Face is back. Two-Face is back. That's it. That's all you need to know.
King Spawn artist, right?
Yeah.
No wonder it got you.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the cover, it looks like one of Spawn's villains. Especially after last issue.
Yeah. What's with the red over his head? Is it raining blood on him, or what's happening?
He's big fan of Slayer.
Hey, me too. Penguin by John Ridley, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Cam Smith, and R.F. Prianto. My goodness. Yo, I love Camuncoli, man.
Same. I
Tyler.
was just about to ask you that. Yeah.
Yo, yes, absolutely.
Are you reading shit? What's the Snyder U.S. book?
Oh, Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
I fell behind, but I really enjoyed that.
Yep. And then like friggin' Superior Spider-Man, like Kamikoli's fantastic.
Yup. So this one is, I mean, it doesn't even have I mean, it's just it's Penguin and the Umbrella Man.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's interesting is I think this is being booked as these characters Killing Jokes, because Killing Joke was 64 pages.
Oh, interesting.
And it's they're trying to tell the definitive story for each of these characters. And in my head, I'm like, what the hell is Penguin gonna do? I'm interested.
I don't even really care for that branding because that is so it's not going to happen.
It's
right?
branding, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks Harris for the Prime sub. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate that, Harris. Anybody who would be kind enough to throw us a sub, even their Prime sub, is perfectly fine. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps out a ton. Thank you so much, Harris. Next up, we have, and good morning to you too, Mr. Freeze. This is the one. Top tier for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jerry Duggan, Matteo Scalera. Wow, Matteo Scalera and Dave Stewart. Yo, this is gonna be hot.
Yep. Thank you, Johnny, for the sub. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, Johnny 150. I've not seen that name before.
Matteo Scalera and Dave Stewart you could tell me, they're doing a one shot about shit, and I would read it. Like it is a duo that I will follow to my deathbed. Like Black Science is one of my favorite books of all time.
Dude, I love Black Science so much. Nobody talks about it. I don't understand.
It's one of my favorite books at Image ever.
Is Rick Remender not the most underappreciated comics writer of this era?
I'm sure if you ask him, he'd agree. Yeah.
He might be too humble for that. But like I really nobody talks about his books and they're all great.
He just got nominated for an Eisner, didn't he? For what's that one that had different artists on it?
The Scumbag?
Yeah, I think that got nominated.
I don't think he was nominated for it though. Like I think it was nominated for
humor.
Yeah. Was it humor?
I think it was humor.
Okay, so maybe he was. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So this is great. There's no description for it really, but excited anyway.
A lot of European artists.
That's comics in general right now.
Yeah. The European invasion started 15 years ago and it hasn't stopped. Batman, One Bad Day, Catwoman.
No art for this.
G. Willow Wilson, Jamie McKelvey, Tamara Bonvillain.
There it is.
Cool.
I don't think I've ever seen McKelvey on a DC book. I couldn't name one, but it's exciting.
We have Bane by Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter and Tomu Mori. This one's actually coming out next year, so there's going to be it seems one a month somewhere, something like that. So we're into the later ones that don't really have descriptions. See Bane's mind, body, and spirit get ravaged. All right.
Oh boy, that sounds sumptuous.
I feel like that happened in Tom King's run.
Yeah.
Wasn't that how it ended?
It's a pretty definitive Bane story. Yeah.
Yeah. Clayface. Yo.
Yeah.
This is my number one, I think.
Yeah.
The cover is
not the creative team so much. I have no problem with the creative team. I think it's hot. It's Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, Zermanico, Romulo Fajardo Jr. Zermanico is a beast. But Clayface, you want to talk about underrated. The fact that there's no Clayface movie yet is a travesty. I think Clayface could be so special in a Batman.
Dude, I pitched it Nicolas Cage as Clayface, as a B-list Hollywood actor who just has one bad day And he fucks shit up. You know,
That could be the best Batman movie.
it could be.
Robert Pattinson versus Nicolas Cage.
Yo,
Who can out weird the other
Two Titans.
on screen? Let's get it.
I'm gonna come.
Wasn't ready for that.
Imagine hearing that from Jeff Bezos on that last day. Can you imagine what that shit smells like?
dude. I mean,
Gross.
Clayface is one of those characters. Like I think Scarecrow, where like they're like B-list, but like with the right story, I think they could be A-list.
Could do a lot.
But why hasn't it happened yet? That's what I don't get. Like Clayface was used really well in 2 animated series.
Yeah.
The one everyone knows, and then the Batman animated
I
series.
love that one with the
Yes.
police guy.
Yes.
Yes, dude.
Amazing. That was amazing. But why does that not translate into comics? Like, can anybody school me? Why? Like, where is the great Clayface story?
I think it's because he plays. Maybe it's seen this way, but I think he plays better as like the lieutenant character. You know, like not the big bad, but more like the step to the big bad, and he's more of a plot device that's used constantly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I
He
think
does
they
get
need to
used
kind
that
of
way a lot.
they need to like delve into who Basil Carlo is. And like, dude, that name is great too. That's like early Hollywood. Like I
Right.
could have. He was hanging out with Bella Lugosi or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
If I ever get an at-bat to tell a Batman story,
It's Clayface.
well, ooh, damn, because Two-Face is my guy though.
oh, what a tale of two faces. There you go.
Two-Face is the best. Two-Face is the best Batman villain.
Go Clayface as pretending to be Two Face.
What if they get merged together and it's a buddy cop story?
And what's their name?
Clayface
Clayface.
or Two Face? Ah, shit.
You can't do it. Yeah, you can't. Wait, hold on.
Two Clay. I don't know.
Wow.
I got nothing.
All right. On that note, the last one is Ra's al Ghul by Tom Taylor and Ivan Reis. That's
That's a team for me.
also
It's
quite
like a
team.
DC event level team there.
Right, exact, dude.
Bro,
yeah.
yeah.
If they announced an event and that was the team,
I'd be like,
yeah, sure,
Sold.
absolutely. Yep.
That's a great shout, Tyler.
No Williamson, no Snyder.
Williamson's on the Bane one.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
Williamson. I meant Tinian. That's what I meant. Tinian.
Sure, yeah.
No Tinian, no Snyder, no King.
Fine.
Agreed. Just pointing
Yeah.
it out.
Wait, what do you mean no King? Tom King's there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which one is he on?
He's the first
Riddler.
one. Riddler.
Oh yeah, duh. Where's
That
my
was too
brain
long
at?
ago. He was listing too many of them. You got
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
Are there any character names that are glaring for you here?
Scarecrow.
Yeah, I think Scarecrow's there.
Obviously,
they've-
no Joker. I don't think there needs to be one.
Nah.
Harley is essentially a hero full time at this point. So
Yep.
Catwoman is an
Yeah.
interesting inclusion, I think.
Yeah, I would have preferred Poison Ivy or Mad Hatter. I really
Okay.
wish someone would have done a Mad Hatter story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair.
But
They got the big players. I mean, I think this makes sense. Like, I do like Croc or something.
Yeah, I mean, I like Killer Croc a lot. I mean, Dustin Nguyen pretty much did the Killer Croc one in the last
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
that he did.
The only one that stands out as like you could have replaced this character is Catwoman, and the only reason I feel that way is because to me she's basically a hero.
Yeah.
Like she has an ongoing, like. But yeah, this is a cool initiative. I'm excited for pretty much every single one of these, and it's cool to know that we can look forward to one of these coming out every month, starting in August. So I'm hyped, very much so.
Yeah, glad of the format too. Nice beefy 64 pages. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Probably
absolutely.
gonna be like $8, but
oh god,
It's
dude.
gonna be more than that. You kidding me?
So Joker 15, the book that I don't read,
Yeah.
is delayed, expanded, and more expensive.
no way.
Yes, they added $1 on
That
to the
sounds
price tag.
hot.
Are you serious?
Expanded and more expensive.
Yup.
So what's it? What is
Yeah.
it? $20 now?
Yes. It was 19, now it's 20.
Yeah, I did hear it's very good. Like it's a very good series, and I think. Oh, sorry, I was told that people should definitely check it out. even though
I
they
have
get
a-
robbed monetarily.
I have a friend named Bean Sartley, and he told me that Joker's really good.
You ever flick them?
Oh,
He don't like that.
And he don't like when you flick the bean. I get it.
No. He also really loves Conan, which is such a shame because Conan the Barbarian is leaving Marvel. So it's an interesting rights issue with Conan. Marvel was they got the rights, as you know, they were licensed the rights to Conan from 2019, I believe, is when the partnership started. Obviously, they've had partnerships in the past, and they've published tons of Conan stories before, but it had lapsed. They got him back in 2019. And in July, we're getting the last Conan story for now. Jason Aaron is going to be ending the Conan era with King Conan #6. It seems like what's happening in Savage Avengers was to get him back into the Hyborian age. And then I guess like King Conan will wrap the story up. I don't know how long he'll be in Savage Avengers. Probably not for, you know, the whole run or
Yeah, I imagine an
whatever.
arc.
Yeah.
you think
But-
that's gonna be an ongoing though? I feel like that's probably just 5-6 issues and then they're done.
It wasn't announced
know
that
anymore.
way, but who the hell knows? I mean, I got to tell you, like, I don't care. I'm not that interested in Conan as a character.
No,
I know that
Bean
the-
Chartley is not you.
Right, exactly. The owners of the property, they have this idea that they're going to be able to create a universe out of the characters that they own.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you the characters that they own, and you guys tell me if you are interested in this. Mac Morn,
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Mac Morn,
Ain't that the hip hop artist people like?
All right.
No, they're mourning him. Mac
okay.
Miller.
Oh yeah,
Call the Conqueror,
I do know that.
and Solomon Kane.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Witch Hunter.
I don't know. You tell me.
I say good luck. I like how everybody is like, "Yo, let's make a multiverse."
Right.
Like it's just like every marketing team has that written down somewhere. I bet you even like Colgate toothbrushes has a multiverse plan somewhere.
Dude, what about the dark what was it called? The
A Dark Universe?
the Dark Universe.
Yo, don't even get me started on Dark Universe.
I love that story. That's one of my favorite stories
Dude.
of like studio bullshit.
It's such a fucking shame too, because the Universal monsters are one of my favorite properties of all time. And they fucking fumbled that one. Jesus Christ.
Yo, and how do you fumble? Like you fumbled it, and you fumbled that bag so bad that now it's like all off the table. They screwed
Wasn't
it
Johnny
up
Depp supposed to
completely.
be like Invisible Man on that one too?
Believe so.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were
like,
gonna
yeah, he's
use
gonna be very invisible soon.
they were gonna use legit movie stars, like
Yep.
the top of S movie stars.
Javier Bardem, I think, was Wolfman or something like that.
Right? Yeah. Tom Cruise was involved.
He was a mummy
believe.
hunter. I
A
don't
mummy
even think
hunter.
he. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. Like that's
Mummy hunter
crazy.
is gonna be
And
Marco this summer.
Hey,
it's gonna be. Yeah. It's gonna be Marco. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Only Marco.
Yeah, the only Marco.
Did you guys see all the chatter about on social? Oh, what creative team do you want to see on Conan?
Who was doing the chatter? This
The
company?
people who own the character, and then like a whole bunch of people who responded with, "Oh, I
That
want
is-
such and such."
That is just shitty social media. Like,
yeah, right.
like that reminds me of like when what is it? Valiant. Their social media would always like post other like characters. Like, oh, here's EXO fighting. Who would win, EXO or
Iron
Daredevil?
Man.
And I'm like, why are you posting your competitor stuff on it? Like, everyone's gonna be on your competitor side in your social media. It's like, don't get the fans to do the work for you. If you want this character, have a fucking plan for him.
We wanted that rub.
Yeah. It sucks too, because we never got to see Conan O'Brien versus Conan in the Marvel Universe, and I was kind of bummed that we never got a one shot of that.
They're both canon.
I know. Yep.
Conan O'Brien's writing Conan.
I would kill for that, honestly.
Would be probably interesting.
Yeah. It sucks though, because like I do like the world of Conan, and especially the stuff like Jason Aaron's been doing on it. Sad Ribic, Jim Zub did some stuff too. It's a real fun world, and I feel like with this company getting the rights back, I will not be reading a Conan book until he's back in Marvel again.
Right.
It just feels cyclical at this point.
Yeah.
It's wild that it was only for how you said 2019, Sean, that they started. So it was only
It's short.
Yeah, right. I feel like usually the licensings are much longer.
I think they probably had the idea of, hey, like, let's play the long game, give this to Marvel, make Conan interesting again,
And then we'll pull that
and
back.
then we'll take it back and do our own thing and make money.
The old pullout method.
Yeah, which never works some of the time.
I'm gonna come.
That one's getting a lot of work. Jeez. All right.
Yeah, this is the episode for that, apparently. So, speaking of which, there was a She-Hulk trailer, and
Let's go.
That is just a disgusting segue, Sean.
too easy, right? Too easy. Yo, we are gonna watch the trailer right now.
Yo, what's with this foot stuff, Sean? I don't know what's on the screen.
I don't
It's been
control what's on
following
the
me
screen.
since this goddamn game I played. Kendrick Lamar fucked up my algorithm somewhere along the way. I get this. I start doing a little Kendrick Lamar game, a little Kendrick Lamar game for my fun little comic book
That's
podcast.
what it was, yeah.
And then all of my shit is like feet. I'm like, no.
Yeah. All
My
of a sudden,
TikTok. My TikTok is just hot clowns and feet now, which I'm only okay with half of that. So
Which half?
just
the feet part.
The feet, right?
down the clown, buddy. Down the clown.
Speaking of big steppers, She-Hulk. She a big stepper.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Apparently, she got. They shrunk her though. She was supposed to be a bit more muscly, according to a tweet that got shared here in the Discord.
Yeah. That's what we've seen. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Yeah, I'm not
You
gonna
guys
play
can-
the volume too loud. I'm trying to get DMCA. We'll talk over it.
yeah.
I got the subtitles on there.
Yeah. We don't even need. Yeah. we
What
don't
are
need the volume.
those? Do you guys have familiarity with Tatiana Maslany?
No.
No.
Okay.
Do you?
Orphan. I've seen her in Orphan Black. I liked her in that, and she's on Comedy Bang Bang a lot. A good podcast. She's pretty fucking funny.
Not my first pick, not my second or third pick for Jennifer Walters. I feel like Jennifer Walters is supposed to be a presence in her own right. She is a lawyer. She's not a meek lawyer. She's a very good one. And I kind of wish they would have gotten someone to reflect that.
This feels like millennial She-Hulk, which I'm okay with. Where she's just like kind of lost, going from job to job, still single in their 30s, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it.
Let's talk about how She-Hulk looks.
Some of the CGI looks a little sketchy still. Like it feels it doesn't feel as clean, I think, as what we've come to expect from Marvel. This is the TV show, so presumably they maybe don't put in as much work
Budget.
into it, but I wouldn't expect that from them. Some of it in certain scenes definitely just feels not as clean as one might assume.
Yeah, people been trying to defend it and saying like, "Oh, I don't see how this looks worse than Thanos." And it's like, come on, like you can be hyped and you can, I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. That doesn't mean you have to be, you have to like defend literally every aspect.
Yeah,
I don't think it looks good. Like it might work better when we're watching it in seamless television and I'm all for that. And I would love for that to be the case. but this doesn't look as good as things generally do in Marvel movies. There's no way. You can't convince me.
I think it was a discussing film tweet thread where these Disney Plus Marvel shows are pretty much made like movies, except then stretched out. There's no showrunner traditionally. There's no writer's room. They pretty much just make it like a movie and then they cut it out into episodes. Which I think
they have showrunners.
Yeah, they have showrunners, but not a traditional writer's room that a normal TV show would have. Which I can see that. Like, I think every one of these shows, I think save for WandaVision, feels like, oh, this is a movie stretched out into episodes. And because of that, they do that so they can kind of pump these out as fast as possible. Which also explains the CG. I think the CG looks fine, honestly. I have no issue with it. In my head, if it's a TV show, the CG is not going to be as good as a blockbuster movie. Like, I'm okay with that. I get that. It's the revenue you get from it is not going to be the same, so you can't invest as much money into it. It just makes sense to me. So,
and to clarify on that, right? Like, it's not like this isn't the make or break for the show. It's
right.
just it's perceivable, and I noticed it.
That's all I'm trying to say. It's not like a big deal. I think that discussion shouldn't dominate the She-Hulk show conversation, but pointing it out is not. It's like you have. It's fine to say that, and still be hyped.
Do you
I'm
think
surprised they didn't go the Lou Ferrigno way and just like make up somebody up?
Well, so Stevenson in the chat said, I also heard they went with CGI instead of unionized makeup artists. That was something that I was surprised by, where CGI to like enhance it or whatever, but like try to do some level of practicality, and they just threw that out the window.
And
that might have been harder.
Tatiana Maslany is a smaller woman, so
right,
sure,
maybe the makeup just didn't make sense in that regard.
That's very fair, very fair.
Yeah, unless they like just did different shots or whatever. I mean, I'm still kind of excited for it. I think it looks fun. Ex-WWE wrestler David Otunga making an appearance there at the end.
Yeah.
Frogman showing up. Jamila Jamil, who was fantastic in The Good Place, showing up as Titania. So good. Yeah.
One criticism that the trailer got that I do want to refute. People said that it was corny and lame. What? And I gotta ask, like, well, I should clarify. I know that a lot of people don't know who She-Hulk is, right? Yeah. People expose themselves early. Oh, wow, SJW shit. They made a Hulk, but a woman? Unbelievable.
That's
MCU,
hilarious.
guys, MCU.
Right. Because She-Hulk is that new hot hero that they just made a few years ago, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I haven't seen it in the MCU, it's probably they made it just for that, right?
Dummies.
But like the thing I don't get in that argument is like these are the same people that would have been horny for She-Hulk in the comics when she was introduced. Like,
dude, I am still like she's
no. I mean, like the same people complaining about it now when it happened in the comics. They were probably like, "Oh yeah, this is great," like with the John Byrne pinup, in there.
And we're gonna okay, yeah, the CG is what it is, and like whatever, but like she looks great. She looks,
I'll be horny for a Disney Plus show too.
Yeah,
they talk about her ass looking good, and she's like manhandling these Tinder dates. I was like,
that was something. Come on, let's all be honest with ourselves right now. Did we not want to be in that man's position?
Try to get manhandled, Sean?
By She-Hulk, yeah. She's huge, dude.
Brings new definition to Hulk smash.
She-Hulk smash.
And if she has on those gloves, those half gloves.
Oh God.
Listen, I won't be able to handle that.
I've learned some weird things about Sean this week. I gotta say.
You know who else has the half gloves? What's her name? The tall woman from Excalibur.
Saturnin.
Yes.
Saturnin, yes. She had them too.
Man, you got a fucking type, Sean.
Yes. So you bring on the big steppers, bring on the half gloves. Let's go. I'm hyped for She-Hulk. What I was going to say is that those of you who are saying it's lame or corny, have you ever read a She-Hulk comic? She-Hulk is like Deadpool, but a little more coherent. She breaks the fourth wall. It's very jokey, and cheesy, but it's fun. I had a lot of fun with this trailer. I think this is going to be a success. I think the response to this trailer, it was like 78 million people watched it on YouTube or something.
Wow.
It's got
response.
currently 18 million views.
18 million on this one channel.
On the Marvel Entertainment channel specifically.
Okay, so maybe my number is wrong, but it's a big number, whatever. Millions and millions and millions of people have watched it. So I think it's gonna be all right. I really do.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the premise lends itself to TV so well, like procedural, law with superhero antics. Like it just makes sense. That is 90% of the shows in the early 2000s.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. And the cameos in this, Tim Roth coming back as Abomination. I never thought Tim Roth was a good choice for Abomination, but like I'm ready for it.
I mean, he's playing Blonsky. Like he's
Yeah, I thought it was weird he was playing Blonsky because they made him like, oh, he's this ripped, ex-military kind of guy. I'm like, he's kind of Tim Roth's a tiny dude. Like
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
A butch character.
Obviously, we are getting Mark Ruffalo again as Hulk, so that will continue the Hulk story. And as I mentioned, Wong, which makes sense because Wong has Abomination imprisoned or something is going on with that.
Is Wong the new Nick Fury? Because I feel like Wong is literally showing up everywhere, and
too.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah. I love Wong, so
I dig it.
I have no issues with Wong, but I would like Nick Fury.
I mean, we're getting Nick Fury in the Secret Invasion. We got some news on that this week.
We did, yeah. It's going to take place in the timeline, in the time between the snap, like post snap, but not post Endgame.
During the blip.
That should answer a lot of questions on that.
We'll probably get Wong there too. We'll see how he becomes Sorcerer Supreme, I guess.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of that Wong could absolutely appear. You're totally right. So Shenron said, you guys think it will be each episode a different case or one case for the entire season? I think it'll be looser than that.
I don't even know if this will be about cases, frankly.
No, I think that Abomination thing is obviously a case. I wouldn't be surprised if Abomination or Blonsky is suing Bruce Banner somehow.
That's actually pretty funny.
And she's there to kind of talk to him about it.
How does she get her powers?
Accident, then a blood transfusion with Bruce Banner, because it's her nearest relative.
Yeah, to save her life, Bruce gives her his blood, and that turns her into She-Hulk.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Harris says She-Hulk Deadpool team up would be great. Yeah, if you're into that, for sure.
Catherine Starr, I want to be her Tinder date. Yo. Same.
Don't we all jealous? And Catherine also said, I think it'll be better in show. I feel like people said the same about Moon Knight, and by the end, not as many comments. That's fair.
That's real fair. Yeah.
I let it go with Moon Knight, and I'm sure I'll let it go with She-Hulk. I've already let it go. I just came here to make that point, but past today, I'm not going to think about it.
Did you finish Moon Knight, John?
No, we haven't even talked about Moon Knight.
It has the typical MCU ending issue.
Dude, I didn't like it. It was a struggle for me to watch every episode that I watched.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else that I don't like.
What could that be?
You don't like Stan Lee?
I love Stan Lee. What I don't love is that Marvel's bought Stan Lee. Buying people is illegal in most places in the world, not necessarily in the south of the U.S., but
that one.
which makes sense because Disney, they have their foothold is in Florida, so they bought Stan Lee.
To caveat, do they have to be alive?
No, because Stan's not. But they purchased his likeness for 20 years. So they have purchased this in a licensing deal with Genius Brands and POW Entertainment, which will allow them to use Stan for all manner of things. Everything you could think of. Appearances in the movies, television shows, theme parks. How is this going to work? A composite of, digital appearances, de-aging. A lot of the stuff we've seen done in Star Wars movies, we're going to see done with Stan. Now, I believe, I don't like it, right? Let me put that out up front. I think this is nasty. I really do. But one thing I will say, and I think Stan would have probably been okay with this, and I don't know him, can't speak for him, but hold on.
Yeah.
Stan Lee as the digital tour guide of a Marvel section, like an Avengers Mansion or a Marvel section of a theme park, would be really fucking cool.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on theme park, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're making Avengers campuses across the world. Their Paris one is opening up supposedly this summer in June, with an Iron Man roller coaster. So, Weekend at Bernie's remake and set in the MCU by
that's
Hyper
so
Viper.
good, Hyper Viper. Wow.
I mean, the Stan Lee has become more than Stan Lee. Stan Lee is an idea, really, more than anything at this point, which is always what he wanted. Like as much as this is scummy and they're gonna Stan Lee Tupac hologram. They're gonna do one of those things. Yeah. Definitely somewhere at a Comic-Con or some shit.
I'm gonna meet him
somewhere. Yeah, there will be paid meet and greets with a hologram Stan Lee that has a voice actor behind it. I guarantee they have that.
Sean, that's crazy. You're going to have met Tupac and Stan Lee at the same convention? What?
Dude, Tupac, Stan Lee, Biggie, Big E, and Obama. Anyway,
Obama? I don't have the sound. I don't have the sound.
I agree with Sylv. It's the movie appearances that make me feel weird, because of the fact that I feel like the appeal of the movie appearances was that it was Stan. It was this old, kindly guy. You never knew what he was going to be doing. And his charisma was funny. And you wanted that. We waited for those moments. You can't replicate that with a digital, hologram. That's not going to work.
They're gonna put them wherever they want now. It's not gonna be the same sort of environment. It's not gonna be the same. The sentiment's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna feel the same because they can do as they will with it.
Yeah.
Funko Pop probably saw this news and was like, cha-ching,
Right.
They don't have Stan Lee.
Maybe one of them, but they can put out Stan Lee with the Eye of Agamotto variant, Stan Lee on the Silver Surfer board. It's just marketing for any kind of general nerd at this point.
Stan Lee could literally swing around with Spider-Man. He could help Spider-Man fight a villain in a movie.
DLC for the new Wolverine game or something,
Anything's on the table now. And to me, that's very weird and creepy. I don't think the world is ready for this kind of thing. I think if you limited it to a theme park type of what I described, that'd be a lot more tolerable because it feels like it's within the spirit of what Stan would have wanted. But I don't think you can sell the movie thing. That's just weird.
Yeah.
It's funny, in the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot, there is a section where it's a hologram Walt Disney explaining Epcot and stuff. So I can definitely see them doing, going into the Walt Disney of Marvel, which is Stan Lee,
And right. And Walt is owned Disney, was a major player there. I get that. That's okay. It's as okay as this kind of thing gets. But this
you're pretty much you're cool with the museum-esque aspects of it, where it's honoring the cash grabs, or where you're that's
right.
Fair. Because the cash grab is going to be the thing that gets the biggest push, because it's going to be most visible.
But what's more Stan Lee than a cash grab? Is my argument,
But what's no one's going to the movie to see Stan Lee. Putting Stan Lee in the movie, putting that money into doing what they have to do to make him there is not going to sell more tickets. So why do it? It's odd. It's a really weird thing.
Can you imagine there was that one guy? Oh, Stan Lee. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Must buy.
Got what I wanted.
And maybe this was a catch-all deal so that they can do whatever they want to do, even if they don't actually intend on using him in that way. We'll have to see. But face value, outside of limited circumstances, it's very iffy to me.
It's icky.
I think the icky part goes into like, oh, it's a slippery slope then, where like likenesses just start getting sold posthumously.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't even.
dude.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
disgusting.
no, dude. That would be actually terrible.
That's nasty.
But like, who knows? Like where this can go? You know, like it's turning people into IP,
Yeah.
which it feels gross to me.
That would suck if they use that likeness in the new what was it World of Wakanda? Like that's
Wakanda
that's
forever,
that's a fear of mine, is we're gonna see some like CGI-esque revamp of a character.
That would still it still could be a possibility that Chadwick might have signed off on that and maybe filmed something, you know, because he knew. So
It
still a
wouldn't
possibility.
surprise me if he was in, you know, that other world where all the ancestors are, all the former Black Panthers. If they did it in literally only that context, it would not only would I respond to it, I'd probably get really emotional about it. But that's the only way.
Yeah. I'm still really interested to see what they're going to be doing with that movie, because we know nothing about it outside of COVID drama.
Yeah.
Deniers.
Oh God. And that brings us to the main topic. Disney hasn't announced this. It's not an actual announcement. Variety has reported that Matt Corman and Chris Ord are attached to write and executive produce a new Daredevil series that is moving forward at DisneyPlus. Now, notably, Matt Murdock and Kingpin have both appeared in the MCU since the cancellation of Daredevil. We got Matt in No Way Home. We got Kingpin in Hawkeye. So obviously that would make everybody think, oh, so they're just going to redo they're going to bring back Daredevil from Netflix, season 4, no brainer. Let's go. I do not think that's what's happening.
You think they reboot it with the same actors?
With those two. I think they do whatever else they want, reboot whatever else they feel like rebooting, reintroduce them in different ways. Maybe they even do something to where it's not an origin story. It's just like a clean slate. Daredevil has faced off with Kingpin before, but nothing that we've actually seen is what happened in their history.
I think that's interesting. I think they would probably do something similar, but like I think Foggy needs to stay. The guy who played Foggy Nelson, whose name is escaping me, I think like that is such an integral part of Daredevil. That if you're bringing in, you know, Charlie Cox, like I think it's got to be part and parcel. Because I think it would start confusing people at that point. Like, oh, so these guys are back, but do they just not have Foggy Nelson and Daredevil? I don't think you could do that, to be honest. I think the love interest can change. You know, they could do Kirsten McDuffie instead if they really wanted to.
Or I'm saying you bring back those characters for sure. You just don't use those actors necessarily.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it would be confusing if you brought back certain actors and not other actors.
We say that, right? But like we've had recastings in the MCU and all kinds of stuff. And
I mean, I think they need to lean into Bullseye further than what Netflix did. And I think that actor you can easily recast.
Yeah.
Because I can't even picture him, honestly. But yeah, I'm curious to see which route they go with this, because I think they've kind of laid the groundwork for a couple of different places they can go with it. They can go heavy into the law part of it, which maybe would be too similar to She-Hulk. They can go heavy into the ninja hand aspect to it and tie it into Shang-Chi. Or even or then they've already established the street level stuff with Hawkeye. You know, like all of Daredevil's realms of expertise have been seeded in the past like year with Marvel stuff. So they could literally go anywhere with it, which is exciting.
I hope that everybody comes back. That's that for me just feels the cleanest. Is just give me a continuation. Just keep the story
Yeah.
going, because that's probably one of the Marvel shows that everybody's seen, right? When it first came out on Netflix, that stuff did really well, and I think it for people to come from Netflix to then come to this, let's say, right? I think there's an easy way to grab that market share for Disney Plus too. Be like, hey, this is what was already there. We're continuing that story. You liked it so much. Like, if you want more
Yep.
Daredevil, I'm not assuming people are only on Netflix for Daredevil or for Marvel stuff, but there's a population that would like to continue to see the story, and I would count myself among that. I would just like them to keep the ball rolling on it.
And they also really marketed the shit out of getting those Netflix shows back.
Yeah.
Did they?
I saw it all over the place, dude.
Hmm.
Just in like ads everywhere.
Yeah, back on on Disney
yeah,
Plus now and all
yep.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. For me, like it was pretty present on the forefront. Like, hey, these shows are on Disney Plus. You could watch. There was like a whole week where they were like, they brought the actors back to talk about the show on social media. Like even what's his face, Iron Fist, did like a
Get
little
out.
video. Yeah, which if they're bringing those actors back to like hype up the shows coming on to Disney Plus, I think it's easy to just bring those actors back at this point. Like then you have a backlog of stuff that you can say just continues. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we have even more seasons now that you can watch. It's a selling point.
I just started, actually. I'm maybe halfway through, but I started what's it called? Luke Cage. Yo, that's been real
Oh,
good.
dude.
Excellent.
Marshala Ali in it.
Oh,
Oh, fantastic.
Great stuff.
So funny you should mention that. Kristen Ritter posted an Instagram story of her and Mike Coulter together, saying reunited, and they had some badges on that she blurred out. So they were together at some kind of event, which was interesting to see those two together.
I say continue it, man. Like, for
Yeah,
me,
me too.
that's where I think you get a lot of. I desperately want them to continue Punisher. I think they did really cool stuff with the character. I think the way it integrated into the Daredevil stuff was done really, really well. Iron Fist, I don't know, dude. They're gonna have to really sell me on Iron Fist if they want people to join for that.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think they could easily do what they're doing in the current comic book of Iron Fist,
What are they doing?
where they just recast him with a new character.
Oh, that's right. Wait, yeah,
you know,
that's right.
actually Asian. So
Yeah.
you're back, Sean.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Now I can. Yeah,
All
you
right,
were frozen
cool.
for a bit.
Yeah, sorry about that. So the canonicity of the Netflix shows and the ABC shows like Agents of Shield was always up in the air, and there was never really any kind of clarification as to if they were canon. And there were things that contradicted the canonicity for sure of Agents of Shield. Not so much of any of the Netflix stuff because of the fact that it was so segregated into street level and all that. The only real connection is just the snap, or not the snap, the invasion.
Yeah.
The invasion in Avengers. Other than that, it's its own thing. So they can do whatever they want. I wonder, because you're right, you guys are right. The legacy of those shows, people love them. I love them. And there's a lot there. And it would be good to have that, to be able to say, hey, this is just continuation. If you've seen Daredevil, you get it, whatever. But this is Disney. This is Disney Plus. I don't think, if the show's going to be radically different, tonally, which I think it will be, I think it's going to have more in common with like a Mark Waid, Chris Samnee run on Daredevil than a Brubaker Daredevil or a Zdarsky Daredevil. I think it's going to not be as heavy. I think it's going to not have, sex or really, really intense heavy themes or really, really intense violence.
So
And-
you,
yeah.
So you think it's more of going to be like a swashbuckly kind of Daredevil
Yes.
instead of the heavy noir brawler type?
Right. That's what I think. And if I'm right about that, which I hope I'm not, then I if it's going to be that different, I don't think it should be a continuation.
Because you're gonna sort of like murk the past a little bit. Like it's gonna muddy some of that.
Yeah, because then it's not consistent. It's not the same feeling, you know. Like to me, it would be really weird. And then you also have to consider the fact that if that's canon, then that means that all of Daredevil's history is canon, which would include Iron Fist and Luke and Jessica and all those characters who they might not want to be who they are. They might want Iron Fist to be completely different. And you can't do that if Daredevil has interacted with him before. Could just do a new Iron Fist with a different origin, but that's weird. So I feel like there's so many things they have to grapple with. It's probably cleaner to just say it didn't happen, but I don't know.
Multiverse too. They can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but how do you rationalize that? Is that if that's a variant, like if that happened in another part of the multiverse, that's fine, but then it wouldn't make sense for that to be a Disney Plus series.
Sure. No, I get it. And I think Mike Coulter is kind of up in the air too, because he's doing Evil at ABC, I believe, which apparently is a very, very popular show. I've watched it. It's weird as shit. It's pretty good. But it's rare that I see an actor on a big show like that also be on another big show simultaneously, just in terms of scheduling.
Sean, I guess question: they have the seasons on Netflix. I mean, sorry, on Disney Plus now,
Yes.
right? So why, presumably, if they weren't comfortable with that content, they wouldn't put that up. Like I was surprised by the sex scene in like the first or second episode of Luke Cage. I was like, whoa, this is on Disney Plus. I didn't realize that this was something that they were doing at Netflix. And I'm surprised that Disney would therein allow it. So my thinking there was, well, if this is already on the platform, they would have debated whether or not this was too graphic in the first place to even put out. If that's the case, because it's already there, I wouldn't put it past them to keep that sort of tone, the more mature, the more action oriented, because it's already there. They have that premise. They were comfortable putting it out. Continuing it is probably a different story, but I think they'd be open to it for sure.
Not only were they comfortable with it when it came out, it was front and center on the launch page.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, hey, all these are here. I think it'd be more confusing if they redo it in a certain way, just for the casual who was on Disney Plus.
Confusing, sure, but there's more things to consider than that. So, as Sylph points out, there were outlets crying and making noise over them platforming those shows alone.
Damn,
so,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. For
Million
sure.
Moms or something like that, probably.
Yeah, some BS. So, legacy content is one thing. Producing new content of that type is totally different. There will not be a Luke Cage, Jessica Jones sex scene of that type in a Luke Cage show on Disney Plus if it's new. That will not happen.
We didn't get the butt stuff from Alias. Never got it in live action.
What butt stuff?
Oh, you don't remember the there's
I didn't read Alias.
Oh, there's a literal scene in Alias where it's like there's butt stuff going on.
All right, we'll leave that there.
And just went from that to Naomi.
They announced that they were gonna. Maybe this is a rumor. Deadpool was gonna be something that they were gonna be
rated R.
Right? Yeah.
Deadpool again, and I understand why it might sound like I'm picking and choosing, but to me, that's legacy content. To me, that's a pullover from Fox. It would be different to say, we're gonna make a rated R Wolverine movie. It would be different to say we're gonna make a rated R Punisher movie than it is to do it with Deadpool. Deadpool's extremely funny. There are ways around that aren't as in your face, violent, gore, sex that I just don't think Disney's comfortable with.
I saw somebody. I don't know. I can't attribute the tweet to somebody, but somebody said that they should explain Deadpool in the MCU of him on a computer dragging a Fox Studios folder.
I saw that too,
into a Disney folder, and like that's it. That's the explanation.
Yeah. Shenron says bringing down the tone to something lighter is something that is inescapable. To me, this would be like a new run, which then comes to if the development of the character is good enough to sell us on this new path. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm saying that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Sean, you bring up the Mark Waid, Somni, Paulo Rivera run of Daredevil as more of an inspiration. It's my probably top 2 favorite runs in comics of all time for me.
Oh, okay.
So I am like into that shit. That is my shit. I have a fucking tattoo from that fucking book. It
awesome.
sort of looks like it says dong on my arm, but it says ding. But like, I'm cool with that. I think that is a new form of Daredevil, and I think it honestly even thematically makes sense of where Daredevil was left off.
Sure.
Where he's starting fresh, and he can start to be a little more enthusiastic and happy. And then you see it in the darkness in between. But also, I mean, Spot and Stiltman could show up. You know, like they brought in some like Daredevil's got a really weird rogues gallery.
Yeah.
And if they want to lean into that, I mean, we fucking saw Frogman in the She-Hulk trailer. They're leaning into the weird. So
I think
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And it's also worth pointing out, like, you know, Falcon Winter Soldier has intense themes. There is, you know, violence there. So it's not as if it's not as if it's going to be like sanitized, right?
It's not neutered.
Right. It's not going to be neutered. But I just don't think it will get to those highs that we saw in the Disney Plus series or the Netflix series.
The hallway scenes and all that.
Well,
I think they can still do that.
Yeah. That is possible because that was just brilliant, camera work and choreography. I don't think those fights were so brutal, that particular one, where you can't show that.
I'm thinking more like the Kingpin car door scene.
Yeah.
Or the Elektra Matt Murdock fucking scenes, you know?
Right. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that we won't get.
And
if you can't have that, that's not Daredevil. That's not Netflix's Daredevil. That's something else.
And I think Kingpin's appearance in Hawkeye kind of lends credence to that.
Right. He was wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, he was.
Which was from Mark Waid's Family Business, like literally for an exact replica. But like he still had the gravitas there, but it was a little goofier.
Yep.
Which I guess that's comics, right? Like
it is.
Same characters, different feelings. So
my final sort of thought on that is I will not be mad if they have to do that, because what we got was so tremendous and it really did feel like a complete story. I would love for that to be continued, but I don't feel like I lost out because it ended, because 3 seasons is a good amount and it was so quality. It did end in a way where it's like, hey, you can fill in the blanks for what happens next, but the story of Matt Murdock has reached a point at which it's kind of solved. Where the show started and where it ends, his story is solved. If he was just happy after this, that's fine. But yeah, do I want more? Yes, of course. No brainer.
I think outside of X-Men and Fantastic Four, Daredevil's the biggest one.
The biggest get?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think this could really be a linchpin for the Disney Plus shows, which I think the general reception of the Disney Plus shows is that they're kind of they're good, but like they're kind of loose in what they're trying to accomplish. So if they want to have a linchpin of street level stuff as TV shows like Netflix did, fuck it, give me more Daredevil. I'm down with it. My favorite character in all of comics. So,
wow,
yeah,
it's a good pick.
No joke. It's
it's
Daredevil, Doom, Cyclops. Those are my top 3.
Cyclops, dude.
Yo, best X-Men.
That's awesome. Yes, let's get it. I mean, Jean, but Jean's my favorite character, but Cyclops is the best X-Men.
X-Men, yeah,
for sure. 100. He is.
Cyclops
is
right.
the X-Men. Dude, I have that shirt. Cyclops was
Me too.
absolutely
Me too.
right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
I gave one to Matt once, and we were both going out one day, and then I picked him up, and he was wearing the same shirt as me. We were both wearing the Cyclops was right, so I was like, hey, you got to change. But oh man, I wonder if we could ever do a retrospective of like the Schism era of X-Men. Like, oh, that's
You wonder if we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, of course we could do whatever.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got an idea? We'll make it happen.
Sorry, this is completely off topic to what we had, but you know, you triggered me, Sean.
Wait.
That whole build of new X-Men all the way up until like Avengers versus X-Men. It's just like good character growth. Like probably I think Scott Summers had the best character growth out of a mainstream comic character that I've ever seen because it was true growth.
Yeah. He went from being like a joke to a very, very like serious, like you got to take this guy seriously. The first time I saw him pull out that gun in what was it? Astonishing or New X-Men where he pulls out a gun. Do you remember? Am I crazy? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I trust you on it. I don't remember it.
I don't trust myself right now. I feel like I might just be making that up.
Yo, talk to me about Onslaught.
No, dude.
I'm just thinking like his whole character arc from being Professor X and then turning into Magneto eventually was great. It's great. Just idealistically, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I totally agree. Cyclops is the man. Let us know what your thoughts are about this topic.
Daredevil, not Cyclops. Sorry about that.
The comments we'll get about Cyclops, I don't even want. About how people don't like him. Like,
he's a Boy Scout.
Yeah. Okay. So Superman's awesome. And Cyclops is not a Boy Scout. Well, he is, but he's the best Boy Scout. Anyways, Daredevil. Sorry. Send us your thoughts about Daredevil or anything else we talked about on this episode of the show, including Cyclops. Would you be comfortable with a Daredevil reboot, but keeping the same main character and main antagonist actor-wise? Would you be cool with that? Write in and let us know. Write in and let us know about anything. How do you feel about Stan Lee being purchased by Marvel? Big deal. There are plenty of ways that you can reach out to us, plenty of ways that you can support the show. You can get us on patreon.com/thecomicspals. Lots of great content up there for you guys. Really want to put this message out to our patrons. Let us know what you want to see. Is there something you want to see us doing over there that we're not? If you're not a patron, is there something that would make you want to join? Some incentive that you don't see yet? We are still new to it, and we're having a great time. We want to make sure that you guys are too. And that this is something that we're all kind of experiencing together. Lots of stuff up there already. Go ahead.
And also, if you have ideas for palling around current patrons,
right.
stuff, random shit you want to hear us talk about, you want us to get real deep and philosophical and talk about, the real human experience, we can do that. We can also talk about farts the entire time.
Oh, I was thinking farts. Yes.
I knew you were thinking farts. I was smelling it.
Why were you thinking farts?
We were both thinking farts. 2 out of 3 of us were thinking farts. Mm-hmm. You're the weird one, Sean.
Get with it.
I was just thinking about She-Hulk. But so Patreon, thank you guys so much for support on there. Join us live. This was a fun episode for me anyways. I hope you guys had a great time watching live. We go live every single Saturday for this show at 10 a.m. Eastern, 10:15-ish. Thursdays for Pals Pulse at 6 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us for all that great live Comics Pals action. YouTube.com/thecomicspals. Subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. If you're not subscribed, it would really, really help us out if you would jump on over there and do that. We are so close to 600, so just need that bump. Our next book club is being determined by you guys over on Patreon. We'll be announcing the next book club really soon. The voting process is underway. We're deadlocked Actually,
Oh, okay.
we're deadlocked over there.
Do we have a plan for that?
Well, no. We need we need someone to break that. Yeah, one more vote would seal it. We'll close the voting on Tuesday, so give you guys a little bit of time. I'll briefly go over like where it stands. So it's The Boys Volume 1 and 2, Kaiju Max Season 1, Flintstones, Swamp Thing Books 3 and 4, and Uncanny Avengers. We're not deadlocked anymore because my pick, Avengers, has 3 votes.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
And the runner up is the Flintstones.
Oh,
So
Really?
there's still
I thought
time.
more people would pick The Boys, honestly.
right?
I'm not surprised by this.
I think
don't
The
know
Boys
how-
is more successful as a TV show, honestly.
and I think that The Boys has a certain kind of audience that we don't necessarily curate.
That show is fucking good, though, man. That show
I
is
love the show.
fantastic.
Yeah, I was just referring to the comic. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Until then, we're the Comics Pals. Oh, shoot, no, sorry, plugs. My goodness, wow. Marco.
You guys forgetting how to do this show.
Shit.
Yeah, okay. Where were you last week?
Huh? Thank you again for tuning in. You can follow me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. I've been reading quite a bit of manga, which you'll be hearing in my newsletter coming out this week. Drops Wednesday. So 2 days from now if you're listening on Monday, or next week Wednesday, a few days if you're listening live. And what else? And I'm almost done with Dawson's Creek. This close.
Hey.
This close,
Never watched
so
it. Never watched it.
very good. I'm going to definitely have a newsletter on it, sharing all my thoughts. So stay tuned at some point.
That's hype. Tyler?
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. I am in the process of a move again. So I will be packing up a shelf that currently I need to figure out how to properly pack up an original Nintendo home entertainment system. And my Blizzard action figures. I know how to pack those.
You have Blizzard action figures?
Yo, I got a Vol'jin statue, my dude.
Yo, you've never shown me those. You got to take a pic.
I got Stitches. I got Arthas, and I have some Funko Pops. I got a lot of Overwatch Funko Pops. I got Deathwing Funko Pop, Murloc.
Dude, the shine in Sean's eye right now.
Yo, that's so
the
cool,
Vol'jin
man.
statue. Oh, I have a Ragnaros statue too. That one's right next to me.
Oh,
That one's right here.
Holy shit.
dude, too soon.
Yeah. Too soon, executors.
That's beautiful, dude. Wow.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I might have resubbed.
You did?
I've only dipped my toe in it. It was an act of depression. That's what it was. But maybe once I'm settled in my new place, I'll jump in again. It's the Dune Crawler Kroger world boss was up, but I've been trying to get that alpaca mount for years now. So I'm waiting for it. It didn't drop for me this time. So
You never will.
Tyler's not going to shower for 6 months.
oh, I got a lot of those rare drops. I have like Onyxia. I have the Ashes of Valar. So I've gotten lucky.
You're just gonna sit here and rub that shit in? That's what
I
you're
got
gonna do?
Ashes of Valar. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Wow. I don't, but
Got ashy knees.
is that a black joke, Marco? Is that what we're doing?
Oh,
Racist?
I do, bro. I
He
get
said-
I get
yeah.
dry.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh, I
I'm
thought you
ashy
said. I thought you
too,
said
yeah.
I had ashy.
I said
knees.
I had.
Oh, okay.
No, no,
I was
Racist.
internalizing.
No,
Anyway,
Puerto Ricans
I'm
get
on-
ashy in a different way, you know?
yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. I've been playing a lot of Multiverses. That's a really
Oh, man, I didn't get
fun
the beta
game.
invite.
Yeah. You didn't get your invite? I wonder if I can share my invite. I would like to have you. We could stream it.
Yeah, we could.
Sean, I didn't notice this. Did you get new headphones?
Nope. I've had these for a while.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you didn't notice it for a while.
I guess I didn't notice it for a little bit.
With that, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
See you next week.